Volkswagen Passat. The Volkswagen Passat is one of those cars that has managed to carve out a unique place in the automotive landscape, standing as a symbol of refined practicality, understated sophistication, and German engineering that has quietly but consistently delivered across decades. Unlike the flamboyant sports cars or rugged SUVs that often grab the spotlight, the Passat has always been about balance, a car that appeals to those who seek a perfect blend of style, performance, comfort, and usability. It's not the kind of car that screams for attention, yet it is the kind of car that wins the loyalty of millions of families, professionals, and enthusiasts who appreciate the subtleties of a well-rounded vehicle. To talk about the Volkswagen Passat is to explore a story of evolution, resilience, and adaptation, as this sedan has been on the roads since 1973 and continues to remain relevant even as the automotive world undergoes massive transformations. When Volkswagen first introduced the Passat, it was responding to a need that existed in the market for a mid-sized family car that could combine practicality with driving dynamics, something that was more than just a box on wheels. Designed by the legendary Giorgio Giugiaro, the first-generation Passat set the tone for what would come in the years ahead. It was based on the Audi 80 platform, which gave it a solid starting point, and right from the beginning it was offered in multiple body styles, a two-door fastback, a four-door sedan, and even a station wagon. This versatility helped the Passat appeal to different customer bases, from young professionals to growing families. In a world where cars were often seen as utilitarian machines, the Passat brought a touch of elegance and driving engagement to the segment. As the decades went on, the Passat evolved through multiple generations, each one refining and modernizing the formula while staying true to the car's roots. By the time the second generation arrived in the 1980s, Volkswagen had already established the Passat as a key player in its lineup, and it was becoming a global success story. This was not a car restricted to the European market, it found buyers across North America, Asia, and beyond, with each market sometimes receiving slightly different versions tailored to local preferences. For example, in the United States, the Passat was sometimes rebadged and given minor alterations to suit American tastes, while in China it became one of the most popular sedans ever sold, dominating the streets and becoming almost a cultural fixture. The magic of the Passat has always been in its ability to balance multiple traits without overcommitting to just one. It has never been the fastest car in its class, but it has always been quick enough. It has never been the most luxurious, but it has always offered a premium feel that punches above its price point. It has never been the cheapest, but it has always provided excellent value. This balance is why so many people have bought a Passat and continued to buy new ones over the years. For a family, it offers a spacious interior and a large trunk. For a commuter, it offers comfort and fuel efficiency. For someone who enjoys driving, it offers a level of refinement and confidence on the road that is distinctly Volkswagen. By the 1990s, the Passat had started to truly shine, with the B5 generation standing as a milestone in its development. The B5, introduced in 1996, shared its platform with the Audi A4, and it brought with it a level of sophistication that elevated the Passat above many of its competitors. Suddenly, the Passat was no longer just a family car, it was a car that professionals and executives could drive without feeling like they were compromising. The interior was crafted with higher quality materials, the ride was smoother, and the driving dynamics felt distinctly premium. This was also the era when Volkswagen began offering the Passat with a wider range of engine choices, including refined diesel engines that became particularly popular in Europe, where fuel economy was always a strong selling point. What made the Passat stand out in this period was not just its features, but its design philosophy. Volkswagen has always pursued a kind of understated elegance, a clean and timeless aesthetic that avoids unnecessary flashiness. While other manufacturers would chase trends, adding aggressive styling or gimmicks, Volkswagen often stuck to subtle design cues that aged gracefully. That is why a Passat from the early 2000s can still look presentable today, its lines simple and harmonious rather than overcomplicated. The Passat never had to scream to be noticed, it simply exuded quiet confidence. As technology advanced, the Passat kept up. By the mid-2000s, it was offering advanced safety systems, better infotainment, and higher levels of comfort. The B6 and B7 generations introduced more powerful engines, better transmissions, and an array of features that made long drives easier and safer. Volkswagen was ahead of the curve when it came to safety, often equipping the Passat with innovations like adaptive cruise control, lane assist, and advanced braking systems before they became common in the segment. This focus on safety made the Passat a top choice for families who wanted peace of mind along with practicality. One cannot talk about the Passat without mentioning its global reach and its particularly strong influence in China. In China, the Passat became more than just a car, it became a status symbol for business people, government officials, and families alike. The Chinese market saw unique versions of the Passat developed specifically for local tastes, often with extended wheelbases to provide more rear seat comfort, reflecting the preference for being chauffeured. The Passat's success in China was so immense that it helped cement Volkswagen's dominance in the market, a dominance that continues to this day. In the United States, the Passat carved a slightly different path. It was marketed as a more affordable European sedan, competing against cars like the Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, and Ford Fusion. While it may not have always matched the sales numbers of those Japanese and American rivals, the Passat consistently attracted buyers who wanted something a bit more refined, a bit more stylish, and a bit more connected to European driving dynamics. For many American buyers, owning a Passat was a way to stand out subtly, to choose a car that wasn't the most obvious option but was still practical and reliable. Of course, the Passat has not been without its challenges. Like many Volkswagen models, it was affected by the diesel emissions scandal, which hurt the brand's reputation in some markets. Additionally, the rise of SUVs in the 2010s posed a serious challenge to mid-sized sedans like the Passat, as more and more buyers shifted towards crossovers that offered similar practicality with a higher seating position. Yet, through it all, the Passat has remained a staple in Volkswagen's lineup, continually updated and refined to meet the changing demands of consumers. The latest generations of the Passat have embraced technology more than ever before. Touchscreen infotainment systems, digital driver displays, advanced driver assistance systems, and connectivity features have all become central to the car's appeal. At the same time, Volkswagen has kept the driving experience engaging, with responsive steering, refined suspension, and engines that balance performance with efficiency. Hybrid and plug-in hybrid versions have also been introduced, reflecting the automotive industry's shift towards electrification. The Volkswagen Passat's longevity is a testament to how well it has met the needs of drivers across the globe. Few cars can claim such a long production run with such consistent success. Over the years, it has become a trusted name, a car that people buy knowing exactly what they're getting: reliability, refinement, and a touch of understated class. It's the kind of car that doesn't need to constantly reinvent itself because its formula works so well. Instead, it evolves gradually, improving where it needs to, adding new technologies, and keeping up with safety and efficiency standards. Driving a Passat is an experience that many describe as calm, composed, and confidence-inspiring. It is not a car that overwhelms with raw power, but it is one that feels stable at highway speeds, comfortable on long journeys, and agile enough in the city. The suspension tuning is often praised for finding that sweet spot between comfort and control, absorbing bumps without feeling floaty, and providing enough feedback to keep the driver engaged. Inside, the cabin is typically quiet, with good sound insulation and thoughtful ergonomics that make everything easy to use. The interior of the Passat has always been one of its strongest points. Volkswagen pays attention to the little details, the feel of the buttons, the placement of controls, the texture of the materials. While some competitors might dazzle with flashy designs, the Passat's interior has often been praised for its simplicity and functionality. It's a place where you can spend hours without fatigue, whether you're stuck in traffic on a commute or cruising down an open highway. The seats are supportive, the visibility is good, and the overall sense is one of calm efficiency. What makes the Passat particularly interesting is how it has managed to serve multiple roles for different kinds of people. For some, it's a reliable family car. For others, it's a professional tool, a car that gets them to meetings and appointments with an air of quiet respectability. For enthusiasts, certain models like the Passat R36 have provided genuine performance thrills, proving that the Passat is capable of more than just comfort and practicality. This versatility is part of what makes the Passat so enduring. It is not pigeonholed into one identity but rather adapts to the needs of its driver. As we look to the future, the story of the Passat continues to evolve. With Volkswagen pushing heavily into electric vehicles, there is speculation and excitement about how the Passat might transform in the coming years. Already, in some markets, the Passat has been succeeded or complemented by models like the Volkswagen ID.7, which represents the brand's electric ambitions. Yet, even as the automotive industry changes, the core values that have made the Passat a success, practicality, refinement, balance, are likely to carry forward in whatever form it takes. The legacy of the Passat is not built on flash or flamboyance but on trust. Millions of people around the world trust the Passat to get them where they need to go, to carry their families safely, to provide comfort and reliability year after year. It may not always grab headlines, but it has quietly shaped the lives of countless people, becoming part of family road trips, daily commutes, and life's many journeys. It is the kind of car that earns respect not by demanding it but by deserving it. When you see a Volkswagen Passat on the road, you are looking at a car that embodies decades of refinement, a car that has been honed by experience and shaped by the needs of real people. It's a reminder that sometimes the greatest strengths are not in standing out but in fitting seamlessly into our lives, doing everything we ask of it with grace and consistency. The Passat may not be the loudest voice in the room, but it is one of the most enduring, and that is why it remains one of the most important cars in Volkswagen's history and in the automotive world as a whole. The Volkswagen Passat is not just a car, it is a statement of longevity, an enduring chapter in the story of automobiles that shows how consistency, adaptability, and refinement can win hearts for decades. If you were to trace the lives of millions of families, professionals, and travelers across Europe, Asia, America, and beyond, you would likely find the Passat quietly parked in their driveways, serving as the reliable companion through everyday life. Unlike many cars that burst onto the scene with noise and drama before fading into obscurity, the Passat has steadily built a legacy that continues to inspire confidence and trust. Part of the beauty of the Passat lies in how it has evolved without losing its identity. The first-generation model introduced in the 1970s was a modest car, yet it immediately set itself apart by being more than utilitarian. Families embraced it because it offered space, efficiency, and comfort in ways that were forward-thinking at the time. Fast forward to the present day, and you see the same DNA in modern Passats, now infused with advanced technology, digital displays, and hybrid efficiency, but still rooted in the same core values. This kind of continuity across more than 4 decades is rare in the automotive industry, and it highlights why the Passat has become such an icon. Consider the cultural presence of the Passat in Germany itself, Volkswagen's homeland. For many middle-class families, the Passat was often the step up from smaller cars like the Golf or Polo. It symbolized progress, stability, and the ability to provide more comfort for the family. It became the car that professionals used when they wanted something more formal than a hatchback but not as extravagant as a luxury sedan. In this way, the Passat carved its niche between affordability and aspiration, bridging the gap between practical needs and refined desires. In China, as mentioned earlier, the Passat became almost legendary. For decades, it was one of the most common sights on Chinese roads, and its extended wheelbase versions became the go-to cars for business executives, taxi companies, and government fleets. Its reputation for durability and comfort gave it an air of prestige, and even today, the Passat name carries immense weight in China. There are few cars in history that have achieved this level of cultural adoption, where they transcend being mere transportation and become part of a nation's identity. What is fascinating about the Passat is how it has always been adaptable to the needs of different times. During the oil crises of the 1970s, efficient engines and aerodynamic design helped it attract buyers who were conscious of fuel costs. In the 1990s and early 2000s, when safety and technology became more important, the Passat rose to the challenge with airbags, traction control, ABS, and later, systems like adaptive cruise control. As environmental concerns grew, Volkswagen introduced cleaner diesels and hybrids. And now, as the world moves towards electrification, the Passat is evolving again, paving the way for electric successors like the ID.7 while still holding onto its role in markets where traditional sedans are still in demand. Driving a Passat has always been an experience of reassurance. You don't get thrown back into your seat with explosive acceleration, but you do get a smooth, confident surge of power that feels effortless. You don't hear excessive road noise or vibration, instead, you get a quiet and composed ride that makes long-distance driving a pleasure. You don't struggle for space or practicality, because every inch of the Passat has been designed with usability in mind. The rear seats offer generous legroom, the trunk can swallow luggage for a family vacation, and the cabin has always been filled with thoughtful touches that make daily use easier. The Passat has also been a pioneer in blending mainstream cars with premium qualities. Many who could not afford an Audi or BMW could still enjoy a car that felt almost as refined, thanks to the Passat. This is why it earned such loyalty among those who wanted the prestige of German engineering without breaking the bank. It democratized quality, making luxury-like refinement accessible to the masses, and that is perhaps one of its most enduring legacies. For enthusiasts, certain Passat models stand out as hidden gems. The Passat W8, for instance, introduced in the early 2000s, was a bold experiment, equipping the car with a unique 8-cylinder engine in a mid-sized sedan. The Passat R36, with its powerful VR6 engine and sporty dynamics, showed that even a sensible family car could deliver genuine thrills. These versions may not have sold in huge numbers, but they showed the versatility of the Passat platform and cemented its credibility among driving purists. And yet, the Passat is not just about the driver. It is about the passengers, the families, and the countless memories made inside it. Road trips, school runs, late-night drives home, the quiet hum of the engine as music plays in the background, these are the real stories of the Passat. Unlike flashy sports cars that live for the racetrack, the Passat lives for everyday life, and it excels at it. That is why owners often keep them for years, sometimes even decades, passing them down to children, maintaining them with care, and cherishing them as part of the family. If you think about the broader automotive world, the Passat has also played a role in setting standards. Competing against legends like the Toyota Camry, Honda Accord, and Ford Mondeo, the Passat consistently held its ground, often leading in areas like safety innovation, build quality, and driving refinement. It pushed competitors to raise their game, and in doing so, it contributed to making the entire mid-size sedan segment more advanced and more appealing. Even today, as crossovers and SUVs dominate sales charts, the Passat continues to be appreciated by those who value what a sedan can offer: lower center of gravity, better fuel efficiency, sleeker looks, and a driving experience that feels connected and grounded. It stands as a reminder that not everyone wants to follow trends, that there are still people who see beauty and value in the classic sedan form. Thank you for your time.